Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to be doing a tutorial about bringing my Nav Mesh Vehicle AI into the advanced vehicle system. This has been requested by a couple of people. I received someone having problems a couple of days ago, and now and again some people have problems. So I'm going to basically just do a tutorial and basically make my Nav Mesh Vehicle AI work on AVS vehicles. And what this project that I have over here is AVS demo. This is a demo project that is given by the creators of the advanced vehicle system. So you can go into their marketplace page, go into their website that is linked there, and basically download the project. And then the only thing that I did is that I added the Nav Mesh Vehicle AI into that project. And that's basically what I have over here. The reason for this is that I don't want to be, actually creating the vehicles and setting them up, the meshes and everything, because that's not the purpose of this video, obviously. But yeah, just to showcase around, this is going to allow us to just spawn a new vehicle. And for example, I'm just going to do the stock car, and there you go. It's just something that you can use. But now we're going to be grabbing these vehicles here and adding AI to them. Okay, so for this, I'm just going to go into the Nav Mesh Vehicle AI, maps, and I'm going to open my test map, and I'm going to use this map to set this up. First things first, this is a new project, so if you press P, you can see that the Nav Mesh settings are wrong because they get overridden, and we need to have the Nav Mesh generate further away from the walls. So let's go into our recast Nav Mesh, details, and let's go over our agent radius and set something like 250. 250, there we go, just so it's further away. And we can just press play and just see that the vehicles will actually start moving, which is exactly what we want. Now to make this work with AVS, I'm going to simply go into, I'm going to go into content, I'm going to go into vehicle system, demo assets, this is in the project that you download, and I'm going to go into vehicles, and I'm going to drag or find one of these vehicles here. I'm just going to use the hatchback, whatever. Oh, I guess, no, I'm going to use another one. Let's do the muscle car. There we go. That's going to be great. So, first things first, we need to add our vehicle component into this. So let's open up the vehicle, just like that. Now, we can do this in two ways. We can do this over here, or we can do this to all the vehicles over here. So I'm going to actually browse to the vehicle demo base, because this is like the core blueprint of all the vehicles that you've seen there. So I'm just going to work over here, and I'm going to add the Nav Mesh Vehicle AI component right over here, and just add that in. And I think the only thing that I'm going to do outside of the defaults is I'm just going to, well, I guess I can leave everything. I'm going to do the draw debug path points just to make sure everything is working. And I'm going to open up this vehicle again. I shouldn't have closed that, because the only thing I need to do now is go into the event begin play right over here. And I'm just going to move this code aside, do a new sequence, so we can Alt S and click to get a sequence. And I'm just going to grab my component from back here and do AI move to. Sorry, not this AI move to. It's going to be, I call it vehicle move to. Sorry, it's been a while since I used the system or actually work with it. So now we need to have a location. So I'm just going to create a new variable. I'm going to call this the target. Make this the target point, just like that. Make instance editable, expose on spawn. And I'm just going to grab this and get actor location. And then just to be sure, I'm going to project to navigation. So project point to navigation. That's just going to ensure that we actually find a valid point in the nav mesh, which is something that you should do, but normally it's okay. And yeah, now we just need to go over here. Let's go into our details panel. I'm going to collapse all the materials, and we have our target over here, and just use the target point that we're using for the other vehicles. By the way, I'm going to just remove these because they're going to stop working, because we're going to be setting this up to work with this vehicle. Okay, so now we're going to have to go inside the Nav Mesh Vehicle AI, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to say Edit. And the first thing that we need to check here is, let's go into our event graph, and the only thing that we do is that we activate AI. We basically spawn the controller. That's probably something that I should do right now. So I'm actually going to browse into the Vehicle AI controller, and I'm going to go into my vehicle here, going to class defaults, and just to make sure that the AI controller class is actually the one that my Vehicle AI controller, and I'm going to make auto possess AI place in world or spawn. So in case in your game you're spawning your vehicle at game time, it will get possessed by the controller. And I'm going to try to play right now because we should get a bunch of errors. So I'm going to press play. You can see nothing happens, and we get a bunch of errors. This is because if we now click, for example, over here, this is going to open up our controller, and is going to tell us that it's not getting our vehicle, because we have our control vehicle over here, and you can see the instance of everywhere. I use this in the code, and now we basically need to change this from wheeled vehicle. This is the default Unreal Engine vehicle, and we need to change this to our vehicle demo base, which is the one that I'm using. Now, if you have your own vehicle, your own vehicle class, you need to change this variable into that. If you're using AVS, it shouldn't matter which one you use, so just set that up to the correct one. Now we're going to get a bunch of errors here, and I'm just going to make sure that now I connect everything like this, and just go through all the errors. And now this is the more boring part, is that we need to go to one by one and basically fix all these errors. So you can see we're casting to wheeled vehicle. Now I'm going to get the possessed pawn, cast to vehicle demo base. So there's really no way around this. This is the same thing as I already have the video up about this. Like the other tutorial that I have about changing this to a custom class. It's basically this. So we still have to do all of this. Now you see, for example, the handbrake input here. This node is not going to appear. So if we search for handbrake, we need to set handbrake input and just set it to false. So let's Alt Control, click and drag this into our connection here. And let's actually, we need to control and drag that over here. Close that. Let's open this up. Now the same thing over here, setting the steering input. So I'm going to set steering input over here. Just Alt Control and drag again in all these inputs. Make sure everything is connected, and we can close that up and connect that up, and we can delete that. Compile and save. Go to the next one. Over here, we just need to connect that back there. Should be okay. Go into this one. Set throttle input. Now there's a weird thing in AVS which uses there's like two different nodes, which is set throttle input, but throttle and brake. I think this one, yeah, it also works for reverse. So I think we should use this one over here. So I'm going to use set throttle and brake input. So I'm going to connect that up. And now delete these ones. There we go. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake because I forgot to connect that input there. There we go. Now we can delete it. So make sure everything is connected correctly, as I'm doing here. Same thing over here. Connect that to false. There you go. Now set brake input. So set brake input right over here, and I'm just going to Alt and drag that, Alt Control and drag again. Need to move this up a little bit. There we go, and that should work fine. Compile and save. Let's go over here. Set handbrake input again. So set handbrake input. This time, remember to set this to true. And now drag the stuff over. And delete that. Oh, sorry. And now we need to set the throttle input again. Because this one uses the same node for both of them, you can just use this one node for both of them. So I'm going to delete these two, do that, and delete that, compile and save, and now go over here and connect this up. Now everything is compiled correctly, so if I didn't forget anything, the vehicle should do something. Now this is where people come to problems now. It's this is basically what I did up until this point is basically the tutorial that I already have to change to a custom class. The thing is, people find problems when they press play now. And I think one thing that we can already tell is that well, our nav mesh is actually working, although you know, it's telling it to go there. One thing that we need to change is, you can see that the vehicle is affecting nav mesh. We can't do that. So we need to go over here, and we need to go into our mesh and set affect, can never affect navigation, and disable it. Otherwise, it's not going to find the correct thing. Oh, we need to do that to the wheels as well. So let's go over here, find our wheels. And you can never affect navigation. Oh, that's already off. So we have something here that is affecting navigation. Just need to find what is causing that. Oh, it's probably because it's not the component, it's probably the wheels here which are causing that problem. So let me open up the mesh. Not sure if we have a Nav Mesh setting here for that. I think we can disable it if we click as navigation data. That should disable that affecting navigation. Yeah, there you go. So you can see now it's working. So just going through your wheels, search for nav and disable nav as navigation data, and that should work fine. It still shouldn't move because you can see that it's turning now. You can see it right over there, but it's not moving. It's because I think we need to set the default to actually enable the engine. So I think AVS starts with the engine disabled. So we actually need, before we do anything, we need to do engine. No, is there an activate engine? I don't remember. Let me search for, yeah, set engine running. I guess we can call this start engine. There we go. And let's see what happens. And there you go. Now you can see that the vehicle is moving. And it should be working. Now I think this vehicle doesn't know how to turn. There you go. So yeah, you can see already a big problem is the vehicle is not turning correctly. And this is a problem for AI or the vehicle AI because it kind of needs to stay on the points of the nav mesh. So if you take away his ability to turn, it loses mobility and it might fail some nav mesh points. So let's go into our vehicle here and let's make sure that our steering is bigger. So if you have like a player vehicle and then you want to use AI as well, need to make sure that when the AI possesses the vehicle, you can do that, for example, in the controller. Just set the steering thing to be bigger, the steering angle. And I'm trying to find it. Let me search for it. Steering. Yeah, no, I want the steering curve, I guess. Is that a problem or the code is actually not steering correctly? I'm not sure. But you can see the steering over here going down with velocity. I actually want to oh, it's probably on the wheels, right? So if I go into the wheels, do we have steering angle here? Need to find that. Wait, steering. Yeah, max steering angle. There you go. So just select all your wheels, and we probably should only do this on the front ones. There we go. You can see 40 is very small for AI. It's probably good for controller because you have full control over the throttle, but the AI basically just tries to throttle all the time, you know, if it doesn't have any obstacles in front of it. So you basically need to increase this to something higher. I think I used something around 75 or something in the default vehicle. I don't remember. Let's just try 75. It might be too much. I'm not sure. Let's just see. I think now it's going to work a little bit better. There you go. I think the problem is it failed to meet that little point there. And I think something that we can do to make that better, because the vehicle is quite fast. Now we enter the part where I need to tweak the settings of my own component. So I'm going to go over here, and we have a Pathpoint Rich threshold, which is 150. This is probably quite low. So I'm going to try and do something like 400. Another thing that you need to take into account, AI vehicles should have better friction on the floor. Because if they start sliding, they kind of lose their like padding, I guess. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's still going too fast, and it's not turning as much as I wanted to. There, you can see that now it's actually going, although it did hit the wall there. But yeah, now it's working. Let's just see if it's able to stop. There you go, it is. So that's all fixed. One thing that you can do for making sure that when it's like going at the curve in a wall, it kind of slows down a little bit more. That's something that I added in the latest update, which is we have a obstacles detection here, which you can just make the detection radius a little bit bigger. So 50 is too small. I'm gonna do debug detection so we can see what's happening. But yeah, detection radius, I'm gonna make something like 2 meters. That's probably too big, but let's just try it. The minimum throttle, that's going to be fine, and slow down throttle divider from radius. So the higher this value, the closer the vehicle needs to be at an obstacle to start slowing down. So I'm going to do something like, I don't know, 7.5 here. And let's just see if that, I'm actually going to, no, that's going to be fine. Let's just try it. Yeah, the detection range as well might need to be altered. You can see we have, it's kind of forward detection thing. So let's see. So you can see that he's approaching a wall, so we might try to slow down. Yeah, he almost made it. And yeah, I think we have a problem is that the vehicle is not being able to reverse. And for us to test that, I'm going to do something like this. Because normally when this happens, the vehicle does try to reverse. No, it is working. Never mind. Okay, so that's all working. I thought it wouldn't be working, but it is. Yeah, another thing that we can try, because this vehicle is quite fast, is going to our recast nav mesh and increase our agent radius something even bigger, like 500. This is going to give a good leeway around the wall so that it doesn't really try to navigate close to the walls. And we can also try, yeah, go over here, increase. I'm going to double the detection range even more, and I'm going to make sure that the slowdown throttle, I'm going to do something like a 4 over here, and the minimum throttle to like 0.1. So the minimum throttle multiplies that obstacles will cause a vehicle to have, for example, if 0.5, the vehicle will never go below half his normal speed. This will basically allow it to almost stop. This is kind of just to make sure that as the vehicle tries to avoid the obstacle, it doesn't fully stop the car. 0.1 is probably too low, but I just want to make sure that this vehicle can drive through here without hitting the walls. But yeah, you can see that now he's a little bit more careful with his speed. You can see he's controlling his throttle a hell of a lot more. But in open space, he still goes full speed. And there you go. I think I'm going to call that a success. So the only thing that's different from my older video, unless I made some mistake on that video, but I don't think so because people have been using that. The only thing that you need to be careful is that on that vehicle, you need to make sure that you start the engine at the beginning. Otherwise, the vehicle is not going to fully work. And yeah, just make sure that all the settings are the same as mine. Make sure you set the AI controller over here. Make sure you increase the steering for better control, and you set up the obstacle detection to higher values because this vehicle moves quite fast. It needs to have that control, otherwise it's going to go full force at a wall, which is not good. But yeah, overall, that's everything that I wanted to show you. So I'm not sure if in people's project, you're probably going to have to change your code. You had like player input stuff. Make sure that none of that is kind of conflicting with the start engine. Make sure that engine is actually started, and you're not overriding throttles or steerings or brakes. Make sure all that is, when the AI takes over, make sure all that is set to default. Otherwise, it's going to probably create problems. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you find any problems or this didn't work for you, let me know in the comments or on my Discord, and I'm going to try my best to help you, although it's difficult, just based on text and stuff. But yeah, just let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.